Join our hosts as they adventure out on the Pursuit S358, a center console platform built for maximum offshore fishability and amenities that will satisfy all of your family and friends. The Pursuit S358 has an overall length of 37 feet 4 inches, a beam of 11 feet 4 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 850. Designed for the ultimate offshore experience, she has a draft of 29 inches, a dead rise of 22 degrees, a dry weight of 15,600 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 343 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
Lori, how lucky are we to be able to finally get on a Pursuit boat? We've been waiting 5 years, I have, and we're going to start out today on their latest offering in their sport line of boats, and it's the S358 that we're going to look at today.
George, I'm excited. There's so many features on this boat today for the family. You're looking at the fishing part. I'm looking at all this comfort and all the buttons I get to play with today, and so I'm really excited.
Well, there's a lot to unpack on this model. Why don't we jump right into it? Now, there's no denying that this is a serious sport fish cockpit, and it's got all the necessary amenities for some serious fishing as well. Stuff you're going to see on any real fishing boat. They've got a 34-gallon live well built into the transom, which is very nice. A couple of fish boxes right here. Another feature that have really becoming common on sport fish boats is a rear-facing mezzanine type seat, and we've got 2 of them on this model, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, Lori, and this is where I'm going to turn it over to you. This turns into an entirely different boat with very little effort.
Yeah, George, this is obviously great when we're offshore fishing, when you want all the space, but when the bite is slow and you just want to watch your baits, the mezzanine seating right here, look how easy that was. This is pure comfort right here. You can tend to the lines all day and I'll sit here.
Yeah, okay, they've split the seating. You've got a single seat right there you can pull out just for one, or the double wide, or all 3 of them together. But really something that blew my mind is that you've got really legitimate furniture here. The grill, the cooler, the sink, all that, you've got all the makings for a party. If we put this large seat down here and both of those down, we've also got a table that hides underneath this hatch cover, and we can put a table in the center and have this completely turned into a cockpit lounge. And when you put it all away, everything is just seamlessly hidden in the background. It's really, really a marvel of engineering. That covers the cockpit lounge, but that's not where the lounging ends on the S358. There's an entirely separate section to party up in the bow. Why don't we have a look there?
Okay, George, this is the dedicated party area. This is luxury at its finest. This is comfort at its finest, and there's so much going on up here.
What Pursuit has done, they've actually got a polished stainless steel backing plate there that's attached to a Lenco trim tab actuator that they've had fabricated just to manipulate that backrest and push it out and back. It all goes back to the engineering and the thought and the planning. Another option here that we're looking at is the actuator on this table. The table's got a heavy-duty actuator that goes all the way down. It'll bring the table down to deck height. You can raise it to seat height and turn this into put a cushion here and turn this into another lounge area, or you can raise it up and have a table to have your lunch and drinks. So multi-use in the same setting here.
George, this is so much more than just a day picnic boat. Now there's a full cabin here, and those are great for those multi-day excursions. You want to stay overnight? Let's go check it out. So what's really unique in this cabin is you don't ever see this on a 35-foot center console boat. If you have a head, it's usually just sitting right here as you walk in, have a cushion to cover it up, but this one actually has an enclosed head, which is great for privacy. Now, if you want to have an overnight stay, there's plenty of room for 2 people to sleep in here. This backrest right here, you just lift up, you put it down, and now you've got your bedding, you have shelving, you've got a TV, and a microwave. That's all you need to be comfortable, in my mind, to stay on the boat overnight. The luxury and comfort features are just phenomenal on this boat, from the bow to the stern.
Now, we've repeatedly said how over-engineered this Pursuit really is, and that engineering doesn't end in the obvious open spaces. If we go below the deck, how well laid out and how easily accessible all these pumps and systems are. The fuel valves, your water system, all of this stuff is labeled really nicely and very easy to access. Now, all of that thoughtful engineering in the construction process leads to what I consider one of the very best rides you're going to find in a boat in this 35-foot class. Now, the helm arrangement on the boat is really carefully thought out, and right off the bat I noticed the amount of space that I've got here to work in. And you know, obviously all the switches are very accessible. You've got two big MFD screens here, but the amount of room that you've got to comfortably run the boat from is really remarkable. Now, one final note, mechanically, for a boat that's a 16,000-pound boat and feels like so much more than a 35-footer, the S358 is pushed along really nicely by just two engines. Now, granted, they're 425 horse Yamahas, but twin engines to push a boat of this size and this considerable mass is very impressive. I mean, the economy is right there to boot. It's just much nicer to only have to worry about two engines as opposed to 3 or 4, which you might typically find on a boat this big. Pursuit, a long time ago, established themselves as a leader in the luxury boat brand market. And for us, having a first look at a Pursuit for my 5 years in Best Boat, I can't imagine a better model than the S358 to start out with. From the luxury appointments to the fishability to the really serious quality in the construction, the S358 was absolutely shot out of a cannon.